Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland and today I have a mini book for Hip Kit Club. My assignment today is to focus on the Simple Stories products from the October kits. So I have used pretty much nothing except Simple Stories products today in this book. So I was really inspired by that sheet of tags that's one of the Simple Stories Cozy Days papers that came in the main kit, and I decided that I would turn this into a mini book. So I have cut up all of the tags on that sheet, so there are 15 I believe. I didn't quite use every single one in this album. I think I used about 12 and then I had about 3 left over, but I used most of them. So I had already got a whole set of photos printed for a day out that we spent at a model village recently, and I knew I wasn't going to make that many layouts of it. I just didn't have enough products to make the number of layouts I would have needed for this, and then all the other photos I had for October as well. So I thought that it would be great to turn this into a mini album to record the day out. So that's what I've done. But because I'd already got my photos printed, they are too big. They are kind of like 3x4. They're slightly smaller than that because of the way that they print on my printer, but they're like 2.5 by 3 3/4 or something like that. So they're a bit smaller than 3x4, but they're not the 2x3 size that I would normally print for a mini book. So I had that as an extra challenge, and the biggest challenge was that they don't fit on the tags. So that was a bit of a problem. So I had to kind of rethink about that. So anyway, I decided to go for the tags as kind of fillers, and my journaling, and then the photos I decided to use the journaling cards from the Pocket Life kit. So this is, when I said earlier that I hadn't used anything except Simple Stories products, that was not true, because I've used a whole bunch of journaling cards from the Pocket Life kit. So you can ignore me on that point. But everything else is Simple Stories. I promise. So the basis of the mini book are these journaling cards. I love the Pocket Life kit. I get it every single month because I just can't live without these journaling cards. The 3x4 journaling cards are my absolute favourite thing. Just extra layers, extra patterns, super cute, lovely things. So I always get them. So like I said, I am just now going through working out how on earth I can make a mini book out of tags that my photos don't fit onto. So I have pulled out my journaling cards. I've set them up into little, you can see I've got a kind of like a grid thing going on here, and basically I'm in piles working out which photos are going to go with which journaling cards, and I need to get them in the right order as well, of the order of events that happened on the day, and if I'm going to make anything interactive, because for me mini books need to be interactive. I love creating mini books. They take a long time, which is why I don't do them all the time, but whenever I do make them, I love them, and I always make them pretty interactive with fold out pieces or envelopes and pockets, that kind of thing. So I'm going to work out if I can do any of that in this mini book, or if it's just going to be a straightforward one with photos literally stuck front and back and bound with a book ring. I do go for a book ring in the end, definitely. It isn't as exciting. It's not got an exciting binding, but it works really well, and I'm really happy with how it looks. Okay, so just I've worked out where everything's going to go. I've made myself a list as to what I'm going to do for each page, I find that is the key to organisation for mini books, to be honest, because otherwise I would just flit backwards and forwards, and I've got so many ideas running around in my head that I can't focus, and then I'm like, I want to do that on this page, but then that doesn't work for that one, and I want to do that on this page, and I have 9 different interactive ideas, and I only have 6 pages, so I have to stop myself from worrying about all of those things and write it down. And it's like, page 1 is going to be a pocket, page 2 is going to be a shaker pocket, page 3 is going to be a fold out, so I have to just focus my mind rather than have it running riot in my brain. So right now I'm working on the front cover. So I have got one of the Simple Stories chipboard frames. It is the one with the raccoon. Now I love raccoons. When I was growing up, now I live in the UK, so we don't even have raccoons here, but when I was growing up, my mum and dad bought me a raccoon cuddly toy, and he was called Ricky, and he was my childhood favourite toy, and to this day I still have a soft spot for raccoons. I've still got him somewhere. I think he's up in the loft somewhere. But yeah, I still have him somewhere. Anyway, so I have a real soft spot for raccoons. So as soon as I saw him on one of the frames, I decided to go for it. That was going to be my front cover. So even though there were no raccoons at this model village that we visited that day, there are not even any raccoons in the UK. So possibly except for a zoo maybe. But yeah, so anyway, he had to go on the front because I just loved him. So what I've done is I've taken one of the frames, the one with the raccoon, and I have backed it with my photo, which was a landscape photo. So almost all of my photos are portrait, but this one with the 3 children, it's the only photo I've got with the 3 of them together, and my little one's looking very grumpy as well. He's trying to run away, but it's the only photo I've got of the 3 of them. So I decided to back the frame with the photo. And then on the back, because it was a landscape, not a portrait, it then didn't fill the whole frame, so I had to then back the top section with the mustard paper with the check print on it, and then on the back it's just floral. And then I will then put my title above the photo. So anyway, that's my front cover, and I've also put some mustard coloured pom-pom trim on the left hand side too. So right now I'm still working on my front cover, although I'm working on the inside front cover right now, so it's currently backwards or facing downwards, and what I'm doing, obviously I've backed the back of it with the mustard paper, and on the other side of the mustard paper there's the florals, so you can see those there, and now I'm creating a pocket at the bottom of that section there to put a photo in. So I'm going to have a double-sided photo, so I've got 2 journaling cards stuck back to back. They're single-sided, which is why they've stuck back to back, so that I have pattern on both sides. There we go, there's my finished front cover, and I've got a tag in there, one of the Simple Stories tags, and my photo double-sided on journaling cards, and yeah, so that is my front cover complete. Although I am going to add some stitching around the edge, I do need to add my title, and I'm going to add some washi tape strips inside there as well. So that is basically the front the front cover done. Now, how I make mini books is I tend to go through and make the entire mini book, so I work out all the pages and how everything's going to look, and then I go back and decorate them all. So I would normally spend the first section, the first part of making a mini book, constructing the book itself and all of the pages, and then go back and add all the pretty details. So at the moment, if it's looking basic, that's why, and I will go back and add embellishments too. Definitely I can see on that pocket at the bottom left, I've added a chipboard flower and a sticker and washi tape strips and twine to my tag and all sorts. So I do lots more to it. It's just that at the moment I'm keeping it simple, just trying to get my pages in order. So I'm working on the next page of my mini book now, which is again a journaling card. It's actually a double-sided journaling card, so I've got the 2 of them sandwiched together, and then on this front section I've taken a piece of craft cardstock from the cardstock kit, folded it in half, and then made a little book for my photos to sit on. So I've got 2 on the inside and 1 on the front, and then obviously the back piece is stuck to the journaling card, so that will be that page. Later on I'm also going to add a tab to the right so that you can easily see that it's a lift up or a fold out, and I'm also going to add stitching as well. I add a lot of stitching to this book. I don't know if I've done it already, but I've stitched around every single tag, and I've stitched around every page as well, so every photo is surrounded by or given a border of thread. Okay, so that is my next page complete, and then I'm going to put pretty things on the back of that one. I've flicked forward a bit now, just because most of the pages are constructed similarly. So the next page that I've done is literally just double-sided. I've got a fold up on one of them, and then another one, it contains a pocket with 2 little photos in that are double-sided, and then on the other side a shaker pocket. You can see it just down to the left. Unfortunately I couldn't film every last detail of this book because we would have been here for several hours, even on 4 times speed. So in the interest of not boring everybody to tears, I have cut a bit out and skipped forwards. But this page here is another page made with journaling cards. So I've got a journaling card front and back, and then I've taken a piece of craft card. You can see what I'm doing there. I've taken 3 pieces and then I've taped them together with washi tape. That was the washi tape from the kit, the Simple Stories tape there, and you can see I'm going to stick that onto the journaling card and then it's going to fold in on itself. So I have a fold of 3 photos showing, or the fold out will open up to reveal 3 photos inside. So I'm just trimming down my photos to make sure they fit inside that perfectly well. I did want them I did cut the craft cards to size, but with the washi tape binding, it just I needed to trim the photos slightly more. It's fine because I have fairly wide white borders on my photos anyway, so I can easily trim those down without them looking incorrect. They're all fine. So yeah, I say I've just getting those 3 photos stuck in place. They are literally, it's going to fold open from the journaling card to reveal those 3 photos, so that's fine. Just going to get that stuck in place there. Perfect. And then on the back of that journaling card, I'm going to add a piece of pattern paper because I think I was out of journaling cards that worked. So the back of it is a piece of the lovely, actually might be a journaling card. No, I don't think it is. No, it's definitely pattern paper. And there it is. You can see it there, that lovely print. It's my favourite print. I love it. And now what I'm doing is I'm making a little sleeve. So I've just taken a strip of the same pattern paper that I backed the journaling card with, and created a sleeve that will fit over the top of my fold out page, and that will just slide on and off and will hold the fold out in place. Obviously it needs decorating as well, but at the moment it's just in place so that I can move on to my next page. And then now I'm just working on kind of my final page, which is an easy one. It's just literally 2 journaling cards, or a journaling card and pattern paper stuck together, and a photo stuck on top, and then I've got to do a back cover as well. So what I'm doing right now is I'm working out what order my tags are going to go in. Now some of the tags I was worried they wouldn't work because they're very autumn themed. Some of them are a bit of Thanksgiving. We don't have Thanksgiving in the UK, so I just wanted to make sure that the tags I used were appropriate to the day out. Autumn is fine, but Thanksgiving not so much. I don't mind a bit of grateful for, but actual eat pie and turkeys and things like that are not really, it's just not tradition here in the UK, so it doesn't make much sense. So I just needed to make sure that they were all okay, which the tags I pulled out were fine, all pretty good. So now I'm aiming for my back cover. Now I have this one with a piece of pie on. I've cut it in half so that it's a single frame rather than a double, and at the top it says eat pie. Well, we just don't do that here, not in the way we do have pies, but not in the same way that you do in the US. So that didn't work for me, and certainly not for a day out to a model village. It didn't fit. So I'm going to cover that up with something else. I've got to figure that out in a moment, but at the moment I figured I will back the frame with another piece of that mustard paper that brings in the front cover. So I've got the same pattern on the front and the back, so that worked nicely. I'm just going to fill that with the mustard, and then on the back of the mustard is a floral, so that is on the very back. I'm going to I've drawn around it with a pencil and cut it out. Now it's a scalloped one, so it was a bit of a labour of love cutting that out, but it worked really well, and I'm happy with how it looks, and I'm just going to mount that on there. Because it's double-sided, I didn't want it, I could have just cut it straight, but then on the back you would have seen the naked chipboard, so I didn't want that to show, so that's why I've meticulously cut it out. So there you can see I've got the mini book is all kind of now together. I've got it all made, every page is made, and now I just need to go through and make it look pretty. So I obviously have to write in my journaling, I have to add all my embellishments, and then go from there. Okay, so flip forward a little bit further now, I've done all of those things. I've added all of the pretty embellishments, and I've written in my journaling. I think I've written in my journaling, but at this point now, I'm losing the will to live because it's 3 a.m. And I was actually away scrapbooking with some friends when I was doing this, and I did say to them, I'm not going to bed till this mini book is finished. So I had to then stick to that because otherwise I would have lost face, right? So I stayed up until 3 a.m. finishing this mini book. That's dedication, right? But not only did I need to finish it, do the pretty bits, write in my journaling, I also felt the need to make a tassel and some beads, so to hang off of the book ring, because book rings on their own are boring, so I wanted to add something to make it look pretty. But of course, because this is a hip kit assignment, I tend to only use things that are from the hip kit. Occasionally I add some sequins or something like that, but on this occasion, no, I'm trying to just stay with, well, I could have added a pre-made tassel is what I'm saying, but on this occasion, no, I decided to make my own. So I've just made a tassel. That is a fringed piece of the mustard paper that I'm in love with so much, and I've just rolled it together, rolled it round, stuck it, and then I've taped it with some washi tape, a narrow piece of one of the washi tapes from the kit, and now just tying it round with some gold twine to make sure that it really doesn't move. I'll probably add, I think I have added a bit of glossy accents to it as well, just to make sure that it's fully set and really won't unravel at a later date, because that would be a bit disappointing if it did that. So that is my little tassel made, and now I'm going to attempt to make some paper beads. So these are really super easy to make. I didn't want them to be too long, so I've all you need is a long triangle, but I needed to keep the widest section not too wide, so that the beads themselves wouldn't be too long, because that would be ultimately the width of each bead. So I've just doing exactly what I've done there, cut some triangles. They're just freehand, no template or anything required, just as long as they're triangles, long triangles. I'm just rolling them. I added some tape and then just started rolling them, and then when you get to the very fine bit at the end, down to the point, I just used some PVA glue to glue those together, then you have a little paper bead. I could completely coat them in PVA glue as well to make them a bit shinier, but I decided not to. I figured that they were okay as paper. So I'm just trimming down some of my triangles there because I was worried that the beads were going to be too long. The first one I made was definitely too long. So I've just trimmed those down a bit, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm making 4 beads. I think they're 3 different pattern papers, and then I'm adding a couple of the mustard pom-poms that I've got. So I had a very small amount of mustard pom-pom trim, so I added a small amount to my the front cover of my album itself, and then I've just chopped off 2 to go into my little bead string as well, so I'm just carrying on making my paper beads. My tassel's done, making my beads, I've got my pom-poms ready, and then I just need to make this into a tassel, and I'm going to do that with some gold thread. So the same, it's very thin, my gold thread, because it's for sewing machine, but it's so pretty. I suppose I could have doubled it up and done several strands, or I could have used embroidery thread, but I didn't have any in the right colour, like the mustard colour that I was looking for, or gold, so I stuck with my gold thread twine stuff that I use for my twiddles, and that worked really well. It also means I can thread it with a needle, and then I could go through all of my beads and my tassel, creates my little bead string, which I think I'm going to attempt now. Right, so here I am looking for mustard thread, and decided that no, the gold was going to be the best option here, because I looked at this cord here that I've got, which would have been ideal, but I can't thread it through a needle. It won't fit, so there's just no way that I can thread that through. So there may be other ways of making tassels, bead strings like this. If you know them, let me know. But I needed it to go through a needle, and I needed 2 strands so that I can make the loop at the top. So I that was just how I did it with the gold thread. Okay, so I've just taken a big long length of gold thread. I've tied a massive knot in one end, and the idea is that it will go up through the middle of the tassel. You won't be able to see the knot because of course it's in the middle of all those fringed pieces on the tassel, and once that was in place and stuck, I've also added some glossy accents to that later so that it definitely won't ever pull through or unravel. So then I've got my one piece of thread coming up through the middle of the tassel. I am sticking on my, I've stuck on all of my, so I haven't stuck them on, I've threaded on all of my beads and the pom-poms, and then I've just created a loop around the book ring, and now I'm going back through all of the beads and pom-poms there to secure it. However, at one point, you'll see me do it in a moment, I took it off the book ring because I just didn't want to be pulling the book around, and then I accidentally pull through and the whole loop falls through the next bead, but I do manage to save it. Yeah, it's okay, it worked out okay in the end. Yeah, I was really pleased with how this little bead string turned out. So this is the point where I'm trying not to pull the loop through, I think, and I accidentally pull it through, but I do save it. I had to pull it through with a paper piercing tool and a little point, and there we go, my beads come off, oh dear, and my loop's gone through my pom-pom, but yeah, I managed to save it with a paper piercing tool or a needle, I think, and hook it back through, and then I was able to hook it back through the bead as well, no problem, and then I attached it to the book ring so that would not happen again. But yeah, so this was a really nice book to make. I'm nearly done now, and what I'm going to do is go through a flip through in just a moment, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so here is a flip through of this little mini album. Here is my cute little paper bead and tassel. I've got some pom-poms on there too. Front cover made with one of the Simple Stories chipboard frames. I've added a few pom-poms down the side there and got my title on the front. Little cut file leaves there and a little bow punched out. Then here I have a little pocket that has a photo there and on the back. Tag with journaling. All the tags are stitched, just a tag with pretty things. And this one is a photo that flips open. In the back I have some journaling, more journaling there. This one, again, the cut files from the sweater weather cut file, 2 leaves and a big leaf, little craft bow as well. That's a punched one. And here we have another photo. This side flips up. Then another tag with journaling, another tag just for fun. Then this one is a little pocket with 2 photos and journaling on the reverse. And a shaker packet on the back with some sequins inside. Then we have another tag and another one, and then this one has a sleeve on it which pulls off and folds out to reveal 3 photos. And then on the back we have full bucket list. Pop that back on there. Then have another tag with more journaling, another photo, and then finally the back cover, which is another one of those Simple Stories chipboard frames. This one was a double one that I've cut in half. Okay, and that's it done. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the little album and the flip through there. Here are a few close-ups of the details inside. As I said on the flip through, I've also used a couple of cut file leaves from the sweater weather exclusive cut file. Yeah, so that is me finished. I love it. Okay, don't forget that if you are a Hip Kit Club subscriber, you get the main kit at a reduced price, a 15% discount off all add-on kits, and access to exclusive subscriber cut files. So lots of reasons to subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed it. That was Nikki Rowland for Hip Kit Club.